Hey guys, Ben Paynes here, and today we are back with another karting video. But today we are at Teamsport Cardiff instead of Teamsport Bristol, so something a little bit different, something a little bit new for your eyes, because we have been going around the same track for the last month or so. But I was given a free session courtesy of my Teamsport membership, so I thought I'd mix up a little bit and try out a new track, because I'm very used to just doing the same track, doing the same lap times, and it can get a bit boring for you guys, so I thought I'd mix up a little bit and just show you some of the practice laps I had in this session. This was a public session, so there's a little bit of argy-bargy, there's a bit of traffic, and there's definitely lots of overtaking that goes on. So I'm going to do the start of this video a little bit differently. Rather than putting my fastest lap, my lap times in the top corner and a timer as I hit the wall there, I'm going to cut away and just sort of show you the best bits from the session, rather than show you the whole way of me going around, and just show off what sort of happened, and the more exciting bits, so more overtakings as you can see from that first transition. But yeah, we were just sort of trying to get into the groove in the first few laps, and the first thing I noticed is that the track was so much grippier in comparison to Bristol. I could actually turn the kart in, and they're different type of karts as well. So the ones at Bristol are Biz karts, whereas the ones used at Cardiff are Sodi karts, and even the steering wheel is a little bit different. It looks a little bit more like a racing wheel. It's more of an oval rather than a complete circle, but you can see here just a complete gaggle of cars just zipping up the inside nice and slowly, just making sure. I was trying to be as polite as possible as well, as these are people that may be introduced to karting like to begin with, and I didn't want to go ramming into people and turn them away from the sport, because that's no fun for anyone, especially people that would be new. I found the karts were able to turn in a lot easier, and I felt I was actually having to use more physical muscles. Like the kart felt a lot more physically demanding in comparison to the ones at Bristol, where a lot more turning force is required, whereas here you just sort of point the nose in, it just sort of zips about. And as you can see from the last couple of clips, I was just trying to challenge each of the drivers, just try and get past them as quickly as possible, because I was trying to get as fast a lap time as possible. I really was trying to get down into the 34-second mark, because I know the lap record was around 32 seconds, and I really wanted to get as close as possible to that, since I didn't really know the track at all. I didn't know what to expect, and I wanted to be a couple of seconds off. And I don't have full footage of my fastest lap. However, my fastest lap of the day was in the second session, and it was a 35.399. which isn't the best, and I know I definitely could improve, but with the amount of traffic on the track at the time, I really was happy with it. Especially, as I said, I'd never been to the track before, and I didn't really know what to expect. But I know the person behind me on the leaderboard was around a second and a half behind in both sessions, so I was really happy with my times, and I really would look forward to going back here again and trying to improve upon it. In the video though, as you can see, I'm just fighting with all the drivers on the track, and here I really was trying to practice my overtakes, and we just zip around the outside of that person who sort of parked it on the apex. This corner was very interesting, because you do keep the throttle in most of the way round, and I was trying to decipher whether to use the brake or just let off the throttle. And I had a nice little battle here with the driver on the right hand side, but was able to shut the door on them on the way out. And then as we transitioned again, sort of the same part of the track, this was where everything sort of got interesting, as everyone liked to slide around in that little complex section down the bottom before the run up to the ramp, and if you didn't get that final hairpin right, it really did compromise the lap, as you could feel how much slower you were going up that ramp. And the same with that top corner there. If you slid on that corner, you lose all the momentum coming into these two hairpins, which I did do a couple of times at the beginning of the session. But just once again, just darting down the inside, trying to make the most of all the space I can on the track, looking to the left, making sure I overtake that driver and keep us both safe. Then once again, just transitioning once more into some more overtaking, and here we have a few cars ahead of us. We just nip up the inside of the first driver, try and keep it nice and tight, maximise the exit. Obviously it was difficult to actually hit set a very fast lap, and this is my favourite overtake of the whole session, just sliding around to the left on that almost flat out corner, and just taking the driver around the outside. And I really did enjoy that one, although I did think I was going to hit the barrier. And as I said, coming up that ramp, I was trying to figure out whether the best way to get up the ramp was to just flick the car in and try and level it out, or whether just to go around a smooth. But I don't think I was really able to tell for the whole session, and here I was trying to undercut this person or do a little switchback, and I managed to get to the apex first. These two people in front having a little bit of a battle, and I was just coming to join in, and there you go, just coming up the inside there, just sticking as tight as I could to that barrier. And then the driver in front here, I believe this was the driver that finished in second, so they did put up a little bit more of a fight in comparison to the other people on the track, but as you'll see, I do end up making short work of them, and I really was enjoying just trying to figure out the best lines, especially through these top two hairpins. I couldn't figure out where was the best way to actually put the accelerator in, but there you see, it goes a bit wide, and I'm able to just go up the inside and take the position and carry on through the rest of the track. But this bit at the bottom of this complex as well really was struggling for me. As you can see there on the left hand barrier, I kept catching the back of the car, as it is a bit wider at the back compared to the front, and I kept catching the back of the car on the barrier, which caused me to lose a lot of momentum. Here once again, just coming up behind two drivers, looking for a way through, and actually managing to get both of them on the same corner, and I did enjoy that overtake. But moving on to the next clip here, we have a driver that's in the barrier, and I was just trying to keep the tyres warm as well. As the lights go green here, we were looking to overtake the person on the left straight away, and I think we managed to just pull ahead and come up for a battle with the person ahead of us once again. We had a little battle with them earlier, but this is the return of them here. And I was going to look for an outside move, but I thought better of it, and then I tried to get a little bit of a switchback, but had to hit the brakes. I didn't want to ram into them. And then I did take a little bit of a better line through here. I wasn't sliding as much. And once again, just hitting the brakes. I didn't want to hit anyone, really. I didn't want to just take anyone out. But once again, just got a bit too hot into the bottom corner and managed to take them on the inside. And here we're just going through the last few corners and hitting that complex yet again. And there is the end of the first session. So I was pretty happy with how the first session went. I managed to get quite a few overtakes done, and I was learning the track, but I really wanted to come out in the second session and cement myself into the 34-second club, as I think this first session ended my fastest lap being a 35.5, so I thought I could definitely improve on that time. And the first two laps here, I was let go a little bit early, so I was able to get a couple of laps in. However, you may see from the camera angle that I'm using is exactly the same as the first session, as I go absolutely straight into the wall. But the camera's really far forward, and I found myself really uncomfortable in the car, and the seat, I didn't realise until I got to ramp here, but the seat was so far forward, and I tried moving it while I was going round, but I just couldn't find my rhythm, and I was really cramped in the car, and I didn't know whether to just carry on going round, or as you can see, like, I'm drifting all over the place. I really was cramped in the front of the car. I couldn't get in the rhythm at all. So this really started to disrupt how I was driving, as I was really unable to hit the brakes properly and even hit the accelerator in the correct way, and it meant that I was just sliding into the corners. I was going way too deep, and I couldn't get used to it. And here you can see I'm still going round. I waited for everyone else to come out on the track, but I tried to get a couple of overtakes done, and I think I managed them, but I really didn't feel as comfortable as I did in the first session, as to begin with I just sort of sat in the kart straight away, was in a nice position ready, and I just got underway. But in the second session I thought the kart was going to be in the same seat position, and me just being a fool, I just sort of jumped in and off I went. But you can see there, someone tried to go up the inside, but just having a bit too much vigour, and they just spun out right into the wall. But here we go, transitioning once again. I was still going round, following these people ahead of us, and like I said, I just wasn't comfortable in the car, and I ended up bumping these people. Someone got pulled over to the left hand side there and asked to go into the pits, but I decided here that enough was enough. I had to go and get it sorted, because it really was affecting me, and I wasn't comfortable, and I wanted to improve. And over half the session had been spent sort of in this turtle-like position, and I came dipping into the pits and got a little shunt there as well by the person behind me. But yeah, if you ever do feel uncomfortable, always just don't be afraid to stop and just sort it out, because it really does affect the enjoyment. If you're not comfortable and not enjoying it, then there's not really much point. So I think by stopping once again, I was a lot more comfortable here, and I was able to get back into my groove once again. And straight away, I wasn't sliding as much, and there was way less oversteer. We're coming up to another driver straight away on the attack to try and make up the time that we lost in the pits, sorting out the seat. And he's looking all over the place, left and right, to see where I am, but he goes in once again a bit too deep, and I'm able to just give him a little bit of a switchback and go up the inside there. Transitioning once again into the same position on the track, but another lap. We're behind another driver, and they're going very narrow to the corner, and it was just allowing me to close up to them a lot. And here we just sneak down the inside, and just take the position off them, and just continue on our way onto the track. Really was trying to nail that fast right hand corner, but here, as I said before, was the bit I was always struggling on. I couldn't get the line right. I put either too much or too little power down. I loved sneaking up the inside of people on those hairpins. It really was benefiting me just to gain the time, gain the speed. And I was learning bit by bit each corner how much I could push the kart. Here, just once again, just going up the insides, they're leaving me a lot of space. And that was a bit of a better turn there on that complex. But as you see throughout the laps, I was getting held up by the amount of people that were just a bit slower than me. It was difficult to get past them and keep a quick lap going, especially when they were too wide, like in this situation where I end up getting involved in the pile-up almost. I tried to get going again, but I sort of got cut off, and I was a little bit upset from that, but it is what it is, and we carried on. We had a little bit of a chuckle, and we ended up overtaking all three of them in the next two corners anyway, so we would have got past them regardless. As you can see here, they are all over the place, just staying behind, trying to make sure we don't get into contact, and pulled off to the left hand side there, as I think they actually got a black flag, which I was very surprised about, and I don't think they were too happy with it either. But once again, right behind another driver, and just trying to close up to them and carry on our merry way, and just trying to go up the inside, sort of had the door slightly shut, so do a little switchback, try switching it back again, but they sort of parked it in the middle. I thought I'd go down the inside, but it didn't quite pay off. However, down the straight at the bottom of the track, we were able to go around them on the left hand side, and very fastly catching up to the driver ahead here, going around the outside, and luckily they were very fair and gave me the room to go around the outside, as a lot of people were squeezing me there in that position. And here we go again, going around the outside there. I enjoyed that overtake as well. I loved overtaking people around the outside in that corner. Just the thrill of almost hitting the barrier but managing to sneak past. And here's a prime example of being cut off, so I tried switching it to the left and then sneaking up the inside. I love sneaking up the inside on those hairpins. Just coming up behind this next driver who was sort of going all over the place, and just on the inside the hairpin managed to take the next driver as well, who was going wide. And then here we go into another transition by the bottom hairpin once more. I went to go around the outside here, but I thought better of it. I looked to the inside, but thought I'd stay behind them. And then we sort of followed them through, just overtook them there on that first hairpin, looked to the second driver, gave them as much room as I could, and then here the driver in front sliding into that bottom hairpin, which was quite difficult to get the hang of, because it was just coming off that downhill ramp, so the back of the kart did slide out, and they gave him a big shunt, and I felt very rude. I almost gave him a second one, but I do believe that was the end of the session there, as we come back up the ramp. We start to slow down a bit. However, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. Please could you leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more, as I have a lot coming up this week in particular in terms of different events that I've signed up for. I'll definitely be returning for some fast laps at Cardiff because I enjoyed it a lot and it is still local to me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.